Hello, welcome to Core Level 1. What I'm going to have you do first is I'm going to have you get into position, so lay on your back, knees bent. Make sure you find your pelvic neutral, which you should know how to do. And then perform your ADIM, and I'm going to have you warm up doing an ADIM just a couple times, holding for 10 seconds, okay? So pelvic neutral, go ahead and tighten up, and breathe. So make sure you're breathing as natural as possible while you're holding your ADIM. Once you've done a few of those and you feel good and warmed up-ish, okay, now we're going to double check you. Make sure you're able to keep your hips stable as you perform the exercises. So we're going to do that marching just to check to make sure your hips aren't shifting, okay? So you're going to tighten up. Lift a foot and make sure that hip doesn't drop or move at all. If it does, put your foot back down, reset, tighten back up, lift again. Okay? Once you got it, hold for 5 seconds, and then switch sides. Check your other side. And same thing. So if you shift, make sure you put your foot down, reset, tighten back up, do it again, okay? Once you have it, this is going to be your first exercise. So what I want you to do is this is called marching. So you are going to tighten up, lift a foot, hold for 5 seconds, and then switch sides. So go ahead and pause this video, and I want you to perform at least 10 per side, so give me one set of 10 each. And if you're more advanced, then go ahead and do your 2 to 3 sets. In this exercise, we are going to show you how to perform marching with arms. So it's the exercise that you just performed, but we're going to add in extending the opposite arm. So we're going to put a stretch on your abs to make it a little bit more difficult. So make sure you still maintain that ADIM, right? So same thing, make sure you're in pelvic neutral. Tighten up that deep core. Make sure hips don't move. And then you're going to lift your foot just a couple inches and extend that opposite arm above your head. Okay? Hold for 5 seconds and then switch sides. So opposite arm, opposite leg. So if this is easy, once you get to the point to where the marching with arms is easy, the advanced version of this, we are going to have you extend your leg once you lift it, okay? So once you lift the leg and extend the opposite arm, you're going to lift the leg and straighten it out. Okay, so you're going to lift the leg, straighten it out, extend the knee all the way, keep it low, hold for 5 seconds, and then switch sides. So same thing, quality over quantity. If you're dropping or you can't keep that deep core tight, you're not ready for this one, okay? So this is the advanced version. So once the marching with arms gets easy, go into the leg straight. This next exercise is going to be what we call a bridge. So what I'm going to have you do is, yes, you were going to start off in your pelvic neutral. You're going to tighten up. But I'm also going to have you use your fingers, and you're going to put a thumb on your bottom rib, and you are going to take one of your other fingers and you're going to put it on that bony prominence in the front of your hip. Okay? So that space, you're going to have to make sure you maintain through this whole exercise. Okay? So that space should always stay the same. So what I'm going to have you do, so I want you to make sure your feet are about hip width apart, make sure they're comfortable. And then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you lift your butt straight up towards the ceiling, but don't let go of that contraction, okay? So if you come up and you have sharp pain, stop, or stop right before that point, okay? Or if you're going to come up and you lose that contraction, stop right before you lose that contraction. Okay? Quality over quantity every time with all of these exercises. Okay? So go ahead and lift your butt,
and you're going to keep coming until the bottom of your shoulder blades are off the mat. So I should be able to draw a straight line from your knees through your hips to your shoulder, okay? So don't overextend to where your hips are way past, okay? Don't do that. One, it'll probably be painful, but two, we want to keep you in line, okay? So for your first timers, go ahead and do 10 seconds. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can hold for 30 seconds up to a minute, right? But keep this contraction the whole time. And then as you lower, come down, come down, come down. And then once you're all the way back down, you can relax, okay? So let's go through that one more time, okay? So make sure you maintain that space. So if butt comes up first, you're gonna feel it. So make sure everything comes up together and everything comes down together. So pelvic neutral, tighten up, and then go ahead and lift butt straight up. Okay? Until shoulder blades are off the mat, make sure you keep that space. Make sure hips don't rotate forward. And then once you've held for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, minute, however long you want to challenge yourself, come back down, relax. Okay? And that's how you perform a bridge. So go ahead and pause here. Perform anywhere from 6 to 12 of them, depending on how long you're holding it. Okay, so once you hold for longer, do less reps. Okay, but if you're just doing 10 seconds, try to give me 1 to 3 sets. If you're holding for 30 seconds to 60 seconds, just do 1 set of however many feels good. Okay. This next exercise is called quadruped or bird dog, and it's pretty much you're doing opposite arm, opposite leg, but now you are just on all fours, okay? So in this position, you're gonna have to refine your pelvic neutral. Make sure you have that, right? Make sure your knees are directly under your hips, hands are directly under your shoulders, okay? So with this, once you find your pelvic neutral, make sure that you're not dropping, make sure you're not arching, okay? So neutral. And one of the big things that you need to watch for in performing this exercise is make sure that your hips stay level. So pretend you've got a book on your low back or a glass of water if that helps, and you don't want it to shift or slide or spill, okay? So now what I'm gonna have you do, keeping your head neutral, so don't look up, right? Keep your head down, neutral. We don't need to be giving you neck issues on top of it. So you are going to extend one leg directly back and the opposite arm straight forward. You're going to hold for 5 seconds, okay? Make sure you stay level and then switch sides, okay? So with this one, same thing, make sure you keep that core tight through the whole movement. And just keep paying attention to your hips. Make sure you stay level. If you need to, do it in front of a mirror if you have one, so you can check yourself every once in a while, right? Okay. So go ahead and pause here and perform 1 to 3 sets. Make sure you hold for the 5 seconds on each side and give me 10 to 12 reps, okay? Okay, so this next exercise is pretty much the same thing as the one you just performed, but you're going to be laying flat on your stomach. So now we're putting your ab more on a stretch, so it's going to be harder to contract it, and it's easy to cheat in this position, so make sure that you are keeping that contraction the whole time, okay? So if you need to start, if you can put your arms down at your sides and lift from here, but if you can, preferably arms above your head, okay? So go ahead and put your arms above your head for me. So now what I'm going to have you do, so make sure you're in your pelvic neutral, okay, tighten up, and you're going to lift opposite arm, opposite leg, okay? But don't be excessive with it. So hold for 5 seconds and then switch sides. So when you lift your leg, don't lift to the point to where you're lifting your hip up, okay? Keep your hip down on the mat as well. You just need to lift enough to where you can engage everything, okay? So opposite arm, opposite leg, hold 5 seconds, keep switching sides, and keep double checking and making sure you are contracting that deep core like you should. Okay? So go ahead and pause here and give me your 1 to 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps, and make sure you're actually holding for the 5 seconds. This concludes our basic core level 1 exercise video. When you guys are ready to add additional exercises, please go to our individual videos and add the ones that say core level 1.